Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Ankush here from Alif Consulting. Welcome in our Azure weekly update video series. In this video, we will be going to talk about all the updates which has been released by Microsoft in last week for Azure. Well, here are the updates which has been released by Microsoft, and all of these releases are specifically available in the journal in GA, like which means you can use them or we can use all of these capabilities into the Azure services. But again, there might be some of the services which are the region specific, and we will be going to have those information in our deep dive, right? So let's quickly jump to these update and have a deep dive about all of these updates. Now, the first update which we have is related to the NetApp. Now, we have the standard network feature available for Azure NetApp file. With this one, we will be going to have the more enhanced capabilities and the consistent network, virtual network experience along with the security posture for Azure NetApp file, right? Now we have a capabilities to choose between advanced or the basic networking feature while creating the Azure NetApp. With the standard networking feature, we will be going to get the increased IP limit for the VNets with Azure NetApp file volumes, which means we don't need to re-architect or we don't need to restructure our network topology for or to use for Azure NetApp files workload like VDI, AVD, and the AKS, and we can have that now design very seamlessly by having the with this standard networking capabilities. We have the enhanced network security with support of network security group. We have the enhanced network control with support for user-defined routes. Now we have the connectivity over the active VPN gateway setup for high availability connectivity to Azure NetApp file share from the on-premise network. We do have a capabilities for express route fast path connectivity to Azure NetApp files. Fast path improve the data path performance between on-premise network and the Azure virtual network. So all of these capabilities are there with this standard networking feature. Again, remember all of these features are currently available into the 20 regions and will be rolling out to the other region soon. The next update which we have is for Azure dedicated host. Uh, the standard and the premium disks as a data disk as is supported as of now for all the VMs running on the dedicated host. But now we have the support for Ultra Disk as well. Ultra Disk are highly performed disk on the Azure that offer the high throughput can be reached to maximum 4000 Mbps per second or per disk or high IOPS which can be reached to the 1,60,000 per disk. So depend on the disk size. So these are the high throughputs and the IOPS which we can get by using the ultra disks. All of the workload like Oracle databases, MySQL DBs, and other critical databases, or the gaming application which require the more IOPS and the more throughput can take the benefit of using the Ultra disk on the dedicated host for the VMs which is running, right? So this is what it can basically exactly help you to increase the performance, right? The next update which we have is related to the Azure Spare OS version. 22.09 expected to be released in September 2022. Uh, First of all, the Azure Spare OS is related to the IoT, right? That's where this operating system is has been used. With this version, what exactly the capability is going to be like? It's provide us the 14 days for a backward capability testing. With this means is it can be used by retail feed And this is only the capabilities which is going to be available with this OS version. The next update which we have is related to the API management DevOps resource toolkit. With this resource toolkit, it allows us to deploy the API management directly from the DevOps. So that's the capability is now available. We don't need to manually go ahead and configure it or need to use any kind of other code to deploy the API management. Now we can directly do it from the CI/CD pipeline as well. The another update which we have is the built-in Azure Monitor alert for Azure backups. This is a very important enhancement, I can say, in terms of the alerting for backup, because earlier we are not having any kind of capability. We have to rely on the active logs, or we have to rely on the custom logs to be configured, or the custom metrics to be created for the Azure backup alert. But now we have the built-in alert for all the critical scenarios like the backup security or the job failure. Now we can it can be directly integrated with Azure Monitor. We can use Azure Dashboard or the backup center to view all of these alerts. Or these alerts can be sent it to the various notification channels like the mobile phone, to the email, or to the APIs using the action groups as well, right? The next update which we have is related to the action groups. As we know, when we create the action group is a global component, and the region in which it stores is the global region, which means it can have it is not the region specific, or the metadata is not region specific. But now we have a capability to store the action group only in the Europe regions, right? And it allows us to store the action group in Sweden Central and Germany West Centrals, right? Uh, this capability is available when you are defining an action group or choosing the save option. During the time, you can see where or in which region you want to store the action group metadata, and it's processing the it processing remain within the Europe region. The another update which we have is again related to the metric alert rules on the custom metrics. Uh, as we know, the custom metrics, the alert rule which we create is also a global component. But now we have a capability to store all of these metric alerts in the Europe regions, right? And these regions are North Europe, West Europe, Sweden Central, and Germany West Central, right? So this is the update which we have related to the action groups or to the Azure metric alert rules. The another update which we have is related to the AKS. Now we have the support for multi-instance GPUs for 800 GPUs, right? Which means now we can run all the graphic related processes or more GPU intensive workloads on the AKS as well, and it can give us the higher performance in terms of the GPU processes. The another update which we have is related to the Azure database for Postgres Flex server. Now uh, it allows us to restore in the faster as compared to the earlier. Earlier, it take a lot of time, or it's take over a lot of time to restore the backup or recover the backup, because it's completely depend on the size of the database or size of the database backup. But now this has been completely enhanced, and it allows us the fast restore for our databases, which is created on the Azure database for PostgreSQL on the Flex server. And this can be used in some of the use case like a testing, development, and the data verification at the backup level that does not require the latest database but need to spin a server quickly, right? And this can help us to fix all of these use cases, and it is now generally available. The another update which we have is again related to the Azure database for MySQL, which is again for flexible server. Earlier we do have the encryptions basically, which is can be done by using the platform managed key, but now this has been uh, this has been basically upgraded, and now you have a capability to done your data encryptions using the customer managed key for Azure database for MySQL flexible servers. In this case, what exactly you can do, you can bring your own keys and you can use those keys to encrypt your or encrypt your data or your databases, and you can use those to protect your information at rest. You can use this feature to implement the separation of duties for managing the keys and the databases or the data. Additionally, you can centrally manage or organize the key by using the key vault, right? So all of these benefits you will be going to get with the customer managed key. But again, as it says customer managed keys, which means the platform provider is not going to take any responsibility in this case. uh, it's a customer duty to manage the full control of the keys, full control of the key lifecycle management, key users permissions, and audit the operations for the key. So this is going to be the customer responsibility. The another update which we have is related for again my SQL database flexible server. The new capability which is there is like now it allows to have the replicas copy of your primary database as a read only, and we can have up to 10 replicas to be created for the one flexible server. With this replicas we can do two types of things. It can allow us to enhance the performance of the application, means we can redirect all the read queries from the application to read only replicas, and the write only replicas, the primary replica can be used for all the write operations, as well as it can allow us to support the high availability as well within the same region. So these are the benefits is there. The another update which we have is related to the Azure backup storage. Now it's very important when you are using like 100 TB or 200 TB of the storage account or the storage for your backups, and you're paying a much more amount to that specific storage of your backups. But now that has been completely enhanced. Microsoft have allowed you to have the reserve capacity, which can save up to 24% of your users cost for your Azure backup storage by purchasing the reserve capacity of for the storage account. The reserve capacity discount will be automatically applied to your matching backup storage, and the process of purchasing a reservation is streamlined. It's completely way of same way like how exactly you purchase the reserve capacity or the reserve instance for your other components like the storage account or like the Azure VMs. The same way you need to have or you can buy the reserve capacity for your Azure backup storage. Uh, it's basically available in two ways. Same way you go for reserve instances for 1 year and 3 year. With the 1 year, you can get up to 60%, 16% of discount. Or if you go for up to 3 year, you can get 24% of discount on your actual cost. The another update which is related to the Azure network and the very important in terms of how you design or how you have designed your virtual network in past. Now we have the resize capability of the paired virtual network, right? As we know, updating the virtual network which is in a paired uh, which is in the paired mode, like having the connectivity or having a paired with the another virtual network is not allowed. We have to remove the pairing to update or add the more address space within the virtual network, right? But now this capability has been enhanced, and Microsoft have released the update and allow us to have or update or resize the virtual network when they are paired with the another virtual network, right? In this case, we don't need to remove any pairing. We don't need to have any kind of downtime to update the virtual network. We can simply go ahead and update directly on the virtual network or add the more CIDR range into the virtual network, even if they're paired with the other virtual network, right? And this is generally available across all the regions. We can go ahead and do the changes in our virtual network if we required. The another update which we have is related to the Azure Media Service. Now Azure Media Service has been uh, upgraded the performance and can allow us to have the low latency live streaming, right? It can be low latency as 4 seconds with any player capable for supporting the Apple low level HLS specification. With the low latency in the 4 to 7 second range, you can build a variety of interactive applications that allow you to engage seamlessly with your audience at scale. Now, what kind of application can build with low latency live streaming, like a retail live shoppings, fitness and educational instruction classes, social streaming, and user generated live where audience can chat and react with emojis, right? So that's where the application can build with the low latency live streaming. What kind of features of low latency live streamings in the in the media service? The first is latencies in the 4 to 7 seconds, right? Automatic live transcripts in over 50 language, dynamic encryption and digital rights management support for ready play, widen and fair play. Player friendly, you can work with natively with Apple devices. No additional player will work. No additional player will be required to work. Playbook have eventually is basically run on the latest format. No additional cost over the existing encoded live events. Major improvement in terms of latency for dash delivery with not using HLS playback, right? Because LL dash support is not available at this time. So all of this improvement has been done into the Azure Media Services. That's it in this video. I hope you like this video. If you like, please click on like and subscribe for more upcoming videos, and feel free to reach us if you have any questions. Thank you.